Okay, in the previous tutorials, we've covered how to use the Baserow database system and the project management features of Baserow, and we built a little web application that gave us access to a single table of to-do items in the database. For this next tutorial, we're going to cover a little bit more about how to build applications. We've got this community forum application, which lets users create a topic and add messages to the topic like this. I like topic 8, and I'll create a name here, and so it's sort of a public forum. Let's go ahead and submit that. A public forum. Go back to our topics. So now we're going to be dealing with a little bit more styling and also several database tables that are linked together. We'll have a topics table and we'll have a messages table, and each of those topics will have a particular set of messages associated with them. We're going to start with a very simple unstyled version like this without many features, and we're going to progress from that to a fully authenticated system, and we're going to give the users the ability to create their own account, a new account, which of course can be managed by administrators of the Baserow data tables. Okay, so we're going to start with the forum that I have already set up here. We're going to recreate this application. So we'll start with this little sort of unstyled version. Take a look at what we've got here. We have 2 pages, a forum page and a messages page, a button that says back to topics, and a form to allow a user to enter a message and a name. And on this page, there's another little form where a user can create a new topic. Got a little text header for the time being. That is using a database with a topics table that has 3 columns, a text field to store the topic, a text field to store the name of the person who created the topic, and a created date. Messages look similar. Here we have a message column, a created by column, and a created date column, and then a link to a topic. And you can see I have this grouped by topics, so when I look at this I can see things a little more neatly in terms of how they're arranged with messages belonging to a topic. And later on we're going to add a user column, or a user table to this. So let's take a look here. We'll recreate these existing tables. So topic, created by, and created date. So let's create ourselves a new workspace. We'll call this tutorial 3. This is form. Okay, so we've got a fresh new workspace up here in our list. And we're going to create a new database to start out. Basically, you're always going to start by creating a database. And so we have topics. Actually, we have a forum database. And within that, we have a table called topics. And we'll add another table that we'll call messages. That's good. And so look at our, let's do again, topic, created by, and created date. So we'll rename this topic. And we'll copy all of our, click on the right button, and I'm going to paste this data in. And then we're going to have another field here. This will just be a simple line text. Created by. And let's just delete this and add a new created by field, so, or created on. We are going to save that as a US date. Good. So anytime a new row is created, the system will automatically put in the date that it was created. Okay, let's see here. We now need a messages table, and let's look at the messages table we've already created over here and recreate that. So copy all of this data. And you know what I'm going to do here is ungroup this. I don't want to group this right now. So let's do this now so everything is sort of in order. Those messages. Okay, so message created by, created date, and then a link to the topic. So we'll make our first column message. And I think we're going to want that to be a long text. We'll change this one to a single line text. Let's say created by. Let's go ahead and delete this field. Add a new one. We'll call this created on. US. Let's include the time. Make that 12-hour time. And we need a link column, which will link each of these messages to the topics table. Yep. Great. So we've got two tables, topics and messages, and the messages will all be associated with a particular topic now. And we're going to start building now the application that will use these tables. So let's create an application. We'll call this forum. And you can see we've got our basic little default bits. Let's add a heading to the top. Call this page forum, and then we're going to want a table to display the messages, and we're going to need a form. Let's see here, we need a form so that the user can add a new message. Let's come back to that. We have this sort of default examples page here, and let's rename this to what we have here. We call that in our actual application just forum and messages. So on the first page we call it forum, so you get to see a little more how to use the whole workspace editor. And we'll add a new page called messages, and I do believe we're going to need to pass an ID to the messages so it relates to a particular topic. So we'll just send the ID of a row that's been selected. That's going to be a number of a row, and let's check and see that that is actually what we've done in this other application. So on our messages page, look at our page settings, and yes, it's called topic IDs. Let's just go ahead and keep that in mind. We'll call this, we can go to our page settings here and edit what we're calling this ID, call it topic ID. Okay, great. And so again, we are going to need a table to display the messages. And we are also going to need a form to enable the user to enter a message. Now let's take a look at our original application. We're just trying to recreate this as closely as possible. So on our main forum page, we a thing that says community forum, and we also say select topic. And create new topic and created by. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Our forum here, we can add a little bit of text right here. That says select a topic. And for our form, we're going to add some data input fields. We want a new topic name. Again, new topic name. Or we could do this just so you see how this works. We'll say topic as the label, and we'll put a little placeholder saying, please type a new topic label. Great. And to this form, we will add another data input field. And for that, we will name. I'll give a little placeholder that says enter your name. And when the user clicks on that, we want an action that opens another page. We want to open the message page, and we want to send the topic ID, which is going to be let's see here. Actually, what are we going to do? We're going to you know what we're actually going to need to do here is send the values. Let's see exactly how we did that previously here. I think we're going to need, here we go, on submit 3. We're going to create a row. We're not just opening that page. We're going to create a row, and we're going to send some information to that, or create a new page. We're not actually going to open up the message page. We're just going to create a new topic in the database. So let's go ahead and do that. When this is clicked, we're not opening a page. We're creating a new row. And we're going to do another local Baserow database called forum in the topics table. Okay, so now we have these, you can see the fields, the columns in that database. And we want to send the topic value, what's been entered in the form, to that topic field. And for the created by field, we want to enter the name that's been entered here on the form. So all this is always just about finding the values you want to add values to a database. And we're not going to send anything to message. And then likely we're going to want to refresh the data. We currently do not have any data, so let's create a data source for this page. We're going to want to get multiple rows from a database, and we want that database to be the forum. We're going to get this from the topics table. Doesn't matter which view we have, we don't need to filter anything, at least for the time being. And we're now going to set this table to display those values. You can see now it's displaying the values we've entered. And it looks like I haven't entered any created by values, so maybe we will do that next. We'll copy those values over. But for this table, the fields, again, if we refresh the data source, see here, I do not want to see the messages that are associated on the topics page. I only want to see the topics and when they were created and who they're created by. So I'm going to get rid of this message list for that topic. Keep that on a separate page. And it's automatically chosen to get the topic field from the data source for the first row, and it's chosen to get the created by field for the second column, and it's chosen to get the created on value for the third column. Okay, so we're doing a little better. Let's go back and look at our database. I think we just need to add some topics created by here. Let's copy those just so we have some data to start with. We don't have to enter it manually. So I'm going to look at my database here, go to topics, and just kind of copy that whole column. There we go. And let's change this to also show the time. So I'm going to edit that field. Doing my best here to give you the real raw version of what we actually do building these applications. So 12 hours. Good. We can adjust the way this looks here in our database. There we go. We'll make that a little bigger. Okay, and let's see. Do we have messages already? We don't have any messages. Let's go ahead and copy all of this data over just so we have some data to work with. And copy these values. Let's copy the created by values also from our existing database. Like that. And the system automatically creates a created on value for when the values are created. Okay, so we're making our way here. Let's go back to the application, take a look at the forum page. We've got now some data populating the topics field in the grid. And now we want to be able to create a new row. And we've done that already. So I think this is looking good. Let's see here. One of the things we want to do is refresh the data source. Once we've done that, we're going to refresh our multiple items. Let's go ahead and publish this. Or we won't publish it, we'll just preview it. We don't actually need to send this out to the live site. So this is a feature of Baserow that lets you sort of work behind the scenes, keep your existing application running on the site so that all these sort of test changes aren't made and these development changes aren't made to the actual live site until you are ready to publish it. So we can work on a site, continue to preview it, look at particular pages, and then when we have it to your liking, publish it publicly. Okay, so let's add a new topic here. That's topic 6. And Nick. Here we go. Okay, so now we've got a form that's creating some data and it's refreshing, and we're going to need a way to edit all of the messages which are saved in any particular topic. So let's go back to our grid here, and for each row we want to add a field. We're going to add a edit link. So I'm just going to take away the name of that column. Let's try this again. So one more time. Boom. And we're going to make that a link in that column. I want that to say edit, or let's see. I would say messages. Now we want to navigate to the messages page, and we've created that page to accept an ID. And what we want to do here is use the ID from our data source. So for each row has a ID associated with it. The topic ID, so the topic row ID from the topic column. We're going to pass that along to our messages page. So when we click this, this should then open. When that is clicked, it's going to open in the same tab. Navigate to that page. Okay, so it looks good. Now let's go to our message page, and we need to fill out a grid here with all of the messages that are associated with that topic. So choose a data source. Have we added a data source yet? We have not. So we will add we want to get multiple rows again to display in this grid. We're using our forum messages table. Don't need a view selected because we're not sorting or filtering anything. Okay, so now we have several columns. Let's use that source now, and you can see it populates everything here. Okay. And what we're going to need to do here is, let's see, I want to get rid of the topics field. I don't want to show that here because we're only displaying one. We can see who the message was created by. You can see when it was created. But we're getting all of the topics. So in our data source, what we're going to need to do is edit the data source, and we're going to create a filter. And what we want to do is only return topics that have, if we click on this, we could select a particular row, but we don't want to add a static value there. What we want to do, I'm going to create this right here, and what we're going to do is choose the topic ID. So remember, when we open this page, we passed it a topic ID, and now we're creating a filter to only, in this data source, show messages where the topics have the topic ID number. Look at that. What's going to happen here is, let's do this. So I don't know the exact row numbers we have so far. I'm going to go back in my original application, just kind of cheat here and see how I have that. Make sure we have the exact same exact same logic. We're going to go to the message page, go to our data source, Baserow messages. Yep. Getting a particular view where the message has the parameter topic ID. So I think we are looking good here. Let's make sure, refresh this. That's looking good. Again, I don't want the topics to be displayed all in a list here. Take that away. And make sure we're using the right data source. Looks like we are. And check this again. We want to look at the forum database. Let's just go for the grid where topics has parameter ID, or topic ID. Okay, let's preview this and see. So actually I want to go back to the forum page. Let's preview that. And we will look at these messages here. Okay. I'll figure out exactly why we're not getting the right messages. Because we do not have any topics associated with the messages yet. So I'm just going to, I could do this manually and kind of go through every one. Say, okay, I want this one to be associated with this one. And now we would actually get a list, but I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of copy that little bit of data over so I don't have to do it manually. Let's look at our messages, and I'm going to go ahead and copy everything from there down. Just to give us a start, so we don't have to enter all this manually. We could enter it manually, but there's no need for that. And we can, of course, use the application do that. So I think we're good. Looks like we have topics assigned now to each of the messages. Let's go back here into our application. And I'm just going to go ahead and republish it, but you can see we're actually not going to publish it, we're going to preview it. And click on our messages. Now that they all have associations, great. We've got a working linked set of tables that we can use in our application. So let's take a look at some more of the other features. Obviously, we are going to need a form here in the messages page. We're going to want to add some data input fields here. We'll call this message. Let's just enter a new message as the placeholder. Message for this topic. And then make that required. And let's make that multi-line, and we'll give them, say, 6 lines or 7 lines, something like that, 6. And we're going to add another field to this form. So let's do another data. But the idea here is, again, we want to have a name. Give them some instructions here. Enter your name. Okay, I think that's looking good. Now when we submit this, what we want to do is add an action. We want to create a new row. We're adding a row to the messages table in our local database, in the forum database, in the messages table. And the message that we're going to add will be the message we're entering here in our form data. And then for the name, let's do this again. And then the created by value in the messages table will be the name that we're entering the form here. And the topic will be the topic ID. So we'll link it to the proper topic ID that we're dealing with on this page. And that will be the value that's added in that table column. And then afterwards, I think what we're going to want to do is we could show a notification saying, thanks for entering a message, but basically we just want to open a page. We're going to go back to our forum. Oh, actually, no, that's not correct. Here what we want to do is just refresh this data source because we want to see the new message added to that messages table. And that should be pretty obvious when the user sees the new item added to the list that it's been properly performed. So let's go, let's see, thank you for building this place for us to communicate. Good. And this is by Jim. There we go. So we're starting to have a real application here that allows us to manage these two tables and work with a system that creates a real viable way of communicating with the group. And just to be clear here, we are on the messages page. On the messages page, we're expecting always to go to this page open this page with some sort of ID attached, which is the ID of the topic that we want to see messages for. So Baserow lets you change these values that we're passing from one page to another. So if I want to see all the messages in the second column, right here in the builder, I can actually see how that's working and make sure everything is working properly. So that's really helpful and useful. You don't have to run the entire preview just to see that you're getting correct data. Okay, so let's take a look at our other example here, our initial example that we're copying. and see if we've created all these actual features that were on the original. Looks pretty good. We have a header. I've got another little button here. Let's go ahead and do that. I was just pressing the back button, but just so you see how we can do this without a button. And we'll say back to topics. And when that button is clicked, when there's a click event on that, we're going to open the page, navigate back to our form in the same tab. We don't want to open up a new tab. Okay, so publish this. I do believe we have all of the original. We're not going to publish it. We're just going to preview it here because I'm not ready to fully publish this yet, but I think we're good. Let's go back to topics. And notice that when we previewed, we opened it to the exact page that we were viewing in the viewer, along with the message ID, the topic ID being 6. So we can always open the page to exactly what we're working on without having to open the startup page and click through and so on. Let's type I love topic 5. Make that be by Phil. Great. Go back to our topics. Everything is working. We have the topic that I created. Look at the messages there. Nothing there. Let's go. Welcome to topic 6. This by Pete Peters. Great. So now we have a topic 6, and so on. Okie doke. We have a working, very ugly looking forum, but using the 2 linked data tables now and passing information back and forth between the 2 pages, giving us some pieces of the CRUD functionality that we need. We can create, we can read, we're not currently updating or deleting anything. So I currently like the state of this, so I'm going to take a snapshot. Let's just do this, and we can later restore if we need to. So next on our list, we'll end the tutorial here, but next on our list, we're going to take this forum and sort of gussy it up a little bit. Let's see here, we're going to make it look more like this now. This is at forum.101compute.com, and we're going to take that forum we had before and make it a little nicer to look at, make the topics sort in the order from newest to oldest, and just make it a little prettier. We're going to put some images on top. So we'll do that next, and we'll move on to creating an authenticated forum so that users can create their own accounts. So thanks for watching this tutorial. We'll continue from there.